he is my favourite golfer to watch at the moment because of that.
He's the most entertaining.
100%.
Definitely.
He's the real life Happy Gilmore, but can play the rest of the game as well.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite weeks of the year. I know you've got slightly different opinions, maybe, but I'm intrigued to know if it's going to change this week. It's the bloody Ryder Cup week.
It is Ryder Cup week.
I'm excited.
Is it that it starts?
I'm slightly gutted because I could have been there. I had an invite to be there, hospitality every day, but the government restrictions at the moment, certainly would it be more from the USA side? It is, isn't it?
Yes.
From the USA, unless I'm going over there for actual work, which really I'm not, unfortunately. I'm just going over for a bit of a jolly. I can't get a visa. I can't get a green card. I can't do this, that, and the other. I'd have to isolate for 20 days or however long it is, and that's not something I'm willing to do. As much as I love Ryder Cup, that's just not something I'm prepared to do.
Could you not say it was for work and got a few Instagrams?
I think I needed something, some clarification or something. It didn't quite work out. I looked into it, bar literally getting a private jet and just sneaking in. I don't think I could have done it. But either way, I'm excited to watch on TV because it is one of my favourite events. I am fascinated, and I mean this to the most extreme level. I'm fascinated about Bryson Dechambeu at the moment. Like crazy amounts.
Did you watch that YouTube video I told you to watch?
I didn't watch that.
Okay.
I showed
you bits.
I kind of saw clips. I saw what he posted on Instagram this weekend.
Not seen it.
Right, I took a screenshot of it. Get this, right? So he's there smashing driver, okay? On Trackman, when it turned to Trackman, and he's absolutely smashing it. I'm not sure if this was regulation length driver, whatever it may be, but club head speed, he clocked 148 miles per hour.
148 miles. Did you say it was a regular driver? Like a normal?
I don't know.
But even so.
It was such a short clip. He kind of just went prepping for the Ryder Cup, smacked this driver as hard as he could, and it was a really extreme hit. Like, you know when you said last week, when you watched him against long drive golfers, he still looked like a conventional golfer.
Yes.
That looks like it changed on this driver shot. He absolutely went for it. Feet off the ground, full rotation. It looked as unconventional of a golf swing from one of the best players in the world I've ever seen in my life.
So I would say the average club golfer, they swing, because when I used to do my fitting events, obviously I used to have a flight scope, so I would see them hitting driver. And you do get the odd guy who might be 110 miles an hour, whatever. You know, a young athletic guy who plays rugby who's now got into golf. But typically, you're looking at between 90 miles an hour to early hundreds, really. And you will know that from your giving, obviously, loads of lessons.
Yeah, and even PGA Tour average was about 112 miles per hour. So that's kind of roughly where I sit and you sit in that kind of speed. Bryson DeChambeau, 148 miles per hour. His ball speed, again, let's put this into a little bit perspective. If you're 100 miles per hour, which is just above average, and you absolutely crush one as best you can, you get the best performance, everything, you're going to max out 150 miles per hour ball speed.
And that's that one that you hit every 5 weeks or so.
That is literally 150 miles per hour ball speeds where most golfers, they're not going to get any faster than that ever.
The average apparently is 133.
Brilliant.
So there you go.
On tour, you normally see him getting closer to 170 miles per hour ball speed.
Yeah.
Some jump over that, but around about that speed. His ball speed on this particular clip was 215 miles per hour.
Oh my God. Well, that video I watched the other day, I think his quest was to get to 214. I don't think he did it in that video I watched. So to get to 215.
He carried it.
Go
ready
on.
for this? And this was the caption he put over the top. How many greens will I drive? Okay. He carried it 383.1 yards. I mean, that's mind-blowing.
But, right, obviously, he's had an incredible couple of years. And the massive story has been distance. And I must admit now, he is my favourite golfer to watch at the moment because of that.
He's the most entertaining.
100%.
Definitely.
He's the real-life Happy Gilmore, but can play the rest of the game as well. Yeah. But, you know, you're obviously the PJ Pro. You've seen this kind of thing probably before in you know, golfers trying to gain speed, gain distance. Certainly, Tour Pro's done it before. Do you think it's sustainable? I don't want to be that guy that calls him out, oh, he'll hurt his back in 5 years. But genuinely, do you think it's sustainable? And do you think it's actually going to materialise into winning more tournaments in the future and helping the America win the Ryder Cup, etc.?
So there's quite a few questions. Let me break this down on first. Is it sustainable? I think he's clever enough to make it sustainable. Mm-hmm. I think if it was anybody else, if it was somebody who maybe didn't think about those long-lasting effects, I think he's doing it with the right information, the right advice, that he is... I'm not guaranteeing this is going to be sustainable, but I feel like he would have definitely factored that into his calculations. Do you think?
I do, but the only thing I wonder is that video I watched the other day, it was really good actually. If anyone's interested in watching it, it's on his own YouTube channel. He's just kind of started uploading on. And he's this whole day at this long drive facility. Now, that's only one video, and like you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I almost feel like he must be spending less time practicing other parts of his game if he's putting that much into his driving.
Yeah.
And is he kind of going to get so obsessed that other things take a hit, or is it still all focused on obviously winning PJ Tour events?
He's actually got a video coming out tonight. So it's premiere at 6 o'clock UK time. So it'll be out while this podcast is already out. Speed training preparation. Bryson Dechambeu.
I'll be watching it.
He's releasing that tonight. Yeah, so I don't know. That's the other thing. Like, I feel like he's probably will have all that information about how to make it sustainable. But when you're in the moment and when you're trying to get 250 miles per hour ball speed and when you're hanging around with all these long drivers, does sustainability go out your mind?
You'd think so.
Like people probably train in the gym incorrectly when they're around their peers when they're trying to show off almost.
It's like when we used to go to the gym sometimes and I was benching more than you and you started absolutely squeezing and tensing and shouting to try and match me, pulling your pec muscles.
That's what I'd have to do, and it wasn't sustainable. It didn't last, I'm afraid. That is fascinating, and I find it amazing because so to answer your next question, is it going to help him win more tour events? Yes, categorically yes, because facts show that if he hits it closer to green, it's easier for him to make more birdies. It kind of doesn't always work, as we saw that with Patrick Cantlay in the playoff final when they had 6-hole playoff, I think it was. Patrick Cantlay was much shorter. Patrick Cantlay was hitting like 9 irons, etc., into greens. Bryson was literally flicking them and chipping them. Patrick came out victorious in that turn. But I think over a season, if he's sustainable, I absolutely believe it's going to help him win more tournaments. I just hope he shouts 4 a bit more often, but that's a different topic. But to be honest, he's not the only one. I saw a few guys this weekend that wasn't shouting 4 again. I feel like it needs to become a movement. And then, what was your last question? Ryder Cup, I think it's going to be fascinating in the Ryder Cup because it's match play.
Yeah, 100. If you're playing against him and he's bombing him past you.
Like, who's going to be one impaired against Bryson Dechambeu?
No, I wouldn't.
I feel like Rahm would. I think Rahm would beat him.
I think Rory would fancy a chance.
I think Rory would beat him. But let's say...
No, I think would weirdly fancy his chances, Poulter. Yeah. I know it sounds stupid. I feel like he'd like, I'm the underdog. I'm going to like... Yeah, he would. I'm the little pup that's going to grind you down.
But then, is he just going to dominate someone like a Tyrrell Hatton or Bert Wiesberger, someone like that where... I don't know. Probably Tyrrell will be able to hold his own, but I mean, so outrageously different. You know, certainly if it was maybe one of the rookies as well for the Europe team, like, God forbid, and hopefully this kind of goes our way, but if he gets paired against Matt Fitzpatrick,
that would be...
I can't, as much as I want Europe to win, I can't see that going any way other than Bryson Dechambeu.
But equally, it's not like Bryson beats Matt Fitzpatrick every round, every tournament, does he, at all?
But it's match play. Like, when you stood on that tee against your opponent, and he steps up there and absolutely rips it. I mean, it's just a different mindset, isn't it?
Flip side, though, imagine you're Bryson and I'm Matt Fitzpatrick, and you bomb one 370 and I go 310, right? And we both half it. You're thinking, I just done him by 60 yards and he's stuck a 4-iron to 3 foot.
Fair dues.
Like, it's almost going to get the other way. But I'm just looking now. So the PJ Tour average for last year, Bryson's number 1 in distance, and his average is 323.7 yards. Second is Rory at 319, Cameron Champ at 317, Matt Wolf at 315. I'll just read a couple out. Dustin was number 7 at 312. So clearly, obviously, Bryson's number 1 by 4 yards, which at that level is a lot. But, and I know we don't see behind the scenes of necessarily Rory, Matt Wolf, and I know these guys all go to the gym, but for those couple of yards extra that Bryson is than the likes of Rory and etc., do you think all that stuff in the gym and all that long drive training is kind of worth it? Do you think is he the kind of guy that would see every single yard as being so valuable to do anything for it?
Yeah, you're probably right, because if he's neglecting other parts of his game, is that going to have a detrimental effect? It'll be really interesting to see how it pans out. What pairings would you love to see against each other?
Oh, good question. Let me pull up the teams now.
I've got one I fancy. I'd love to see, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see Bryson and Brooks on the same team.
Yeah.
Against Rahm and Rory.
Ooh.
I think that would just be epic.
I think we're safe to say that Brooks and Bryson aren't going to be together, though, are they?
But I do not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I do not.
Well, I heard Luke Donald on the No Lane Up podcast, actually really good. And he was on about the pick, how they pick teams and stuff. And apparently, and kind of was obviously, there is so much that goes into it. You've got to have a good rapport.
Well, only on that, I was chatting to Tyrrell when I filmed with him a couple of weeks ago, chatting to him off sideline, saying you're looking forward to Ryder Cup. Who are you most likely to be paired with? He already knew.
Did he? Did he not tell you?
No, but it's not Padre just going, oh yeah, Tyrrell kind of gets on with X, Y, and Z.
It's a lot.
It's outrageously statistically analysed.
Well, they do it certainly on the foursomes. They really look into who'll be on what tee, who's going to put in more, etc.
Yeah. And even like who's going to complement each other's strengths.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you have got a long drive with the golf ball, who is good with the wedges? Like, there's no point in putting someone out that's terrible with the wedges with a long driver.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hit it too close to the green, for example. But on the flip side, if that player is too short, the component, your partner, are you capable enough hitting those 4 or 5 irons into the green when you need to? So it's but we're just saying that on a very, very top line level. It's really broken down over many, many years of analysing these players, knowing that they're going to be ready for the Ryder Cup.
I feel like it's one of two ways. It's either all these decisions are obviously really essential or overkill.
Yeah.
I feel like you could just go, right, you play with him, you play with him, you're all the best players in the world, go and win the tournament, go and beat each other.
I agree.
Or it actually is super, super important. But now that obviously the Ryder Cup week is upon us, genuinely now, are you more excited than it would be if it's Masters week or Open week or not?
I just love all the different scenarios that could happen this week.
Mm-hmm.
The Masters, I love the Masters because of the venue, the prestige. You've got the best players in the world. And at the end of it, there's going to be one champion putting on that green jacket. You don't know who's going to play in the last group against each other. You don't know. You can't predict it, can you really? It's very hard to predict. Where in this, you just dream up these kind of scenarios. Like you dream up Poulter versus Bryson when it comes down to who's going to win the point for the team. It comes down to these amazing pairings where you're seeing someone like a Tommy and Rory versus whoever it may be, Colin Morikawa and Dustin Johnson or whatever it may be. I feel like because you've got a smaller pool of players to pick from, you almost come up with these different kind of scenarios in your head. Where the Masters, you don't really get that till maybe the final round.
Yeah.